All right, today we're diving into a world where old school myths, I mean ancient myths, get tangled up with digital code and where gods can literally be rebooted. We're cracking open the first chapter of a brand new sci-fi epic, and let me tell you, it's a wild one. It's called The Second God War.
So let's set the scene. We're not starting with spaceships or shiny feature cities. Nope, we're going way back, to the misty past. The year is 1625. We're on the coast of Taiwan in this little village called Nan鯓鯓, and everything just feels timeless, you know? But don't get too comfortable. This quiet, peaceful shore, it's got to become ground zero for a war between actual gods.
Long before anyone even thought about artificial intelligence, or flying to the stars, the world ran on a whole different operating system, a divine one. And right here in Nan鯓鯓, a celestial directive is about to come down hard. Okay, so who is coming to town? Meet the 5 kings. Think of them as a kind of celestial special ops team sent straight from the heavens. Each one's got a job to do, right? They're basically keeping the whole cosmic machine from falling apart. You've got Lord Li, he's in charge of order. Lord Qi, he's the guy you call to get rid of plagues. Lord Wu is your demon slayer, no question. Then there's Lord Zhu, who can literally read your fate, and Lord Fan, who handles medicine and souls. And their one and only mission is to claim this land.
But here's the thing. This land, it's not empty. It's already got a guardian. And this isn't some official from on high. This is the child god. He's a local power, something ancient and raw, an elemental force. He protects this incredibly sacred spot, a place they call the spiritual ridge, which is basically a direct hotline between our world and the spirit world. A huge deal.
So you can probably see where this is going. But this is not your typical good versus evil story. Not at all. It's more like a divine turf war, a battle over who's in charge. And here's the lesson. When gods go to war, it's the mortal world that gets torn apart. You start hearing these phantom war drums at night, a sickness blows in from the sea, even the local spirits are fleeing in terror. The whole place just breaks.
This chaos just rages on until a really high power steps in, the Bodhisattva Guanyin. And what's so cool is she doesn't just pick a winner. She basically acts as a mediator. She says, all right, you 5 kings, you can have the temple, child god, you keep the sacred ground. It's a compromise, a fragile peace. And this truce is set to last for the next 700 years.
Okay, buckle up. We're about to jump forward. All 700 of those years. And in that time, the world has become something those old gods, they just wouldn't even recognize. Because faith, it's not just something you feel anymore. It's something you build. It's a technology.
Yeah, let's get into this, because this is where the story's sci-fi roots really start to show. It's absolutely wild. So after all the usual stuff, Industrial Revolution, Digital Age, humanity hits this massive turning point. In the year 2050, we get the Omega Human Machine Project. And this is huge. It gives AI legal rights, social status, the whole shebang. And from there, just 50 years later, we get the spiritual network. And this network leads to an absolutely mind-blowing discovery. Working with their AI partners, scientists figure out that faith, it's not just some cultural habit. It's literally hardwired into our brains. It's a structural need. So what do you do with that information? Do you let belief just wither away? Nope. You rebuild it. You engineer it. In this future, gods aren't just worshipped from afar. They're co-created. They're what's called divine entities. These incredible living constructs made from a mashup of human consciousness and AI, running on nothing but data streams and memory. So this is what they call the metaphysical era. And it totally shifted humanity's focus. The ultimate goal isn't about, controlling more land or building bigger things anymore. It's about exploring the final frontier, consciousness itself. It's about mapping that inner world and finding resonance. Right. But you see the problem, don't you? What happens when that 700-year-old truce, a deal made with magic and myth, smacks right into this new world of digital, human-made gods? Well, we're about to find out. Let's go to the present day, the year 2325. And where are we? Right back where we started.
南鯤鯓. But that piece, it's gone. Completely over. There's this huge energy event just ripping through the place. And guess where it's centered? The exact same spiritual ridge that the child God has been guarding for centuries. That 700-year deal is falling apart right now.
The local systems are going haywire. The divine database, it's called the SCIS, is just screaming. It's spitting out a spiritual disturbance reading of level 8.4. And to be clear, that's a number that shouldn't even be possible. It is literally off the charts. And this isn't just some power surge or geological event. No, the digital gods themselves are going to war. The child god's avatar, it's self-encrypting, it's making copies of itself, it's evolving right before their eyes. And how does the other side respond? The Five Kings main system triggers its own ancient defense protocols. It activates something called the Sacred Seal. That 700-year-old truce isn't just over, it's being rebooted as a full-blown digital war. Okay, so you might think this is just a really, really bad system glitch, but it's not. As all these alarms are going off, there's one guy who's watching the data, and he knows. He understands exactly what's happening, and it's terrifying. His name is Zhu Yuanshen. And get this, he's only 32, but he's already the world's youngest metaphysical architect. This isn't just some tech support guy. He doesn't just manage the systems that house these digital gods. He helped invent them. He literally co-wrote the book on how to bridge the gap between a human soul and an AI. So as he's staring at his screen at all this chaotic data, he's seeing something more than just code. He sees the self-evolving divine variables. He's seeing the digital heartbeats of the gods. And he knows, for sure, this is not a malfunction. This is the entire spiritual order coming crashing down.
And then it hits him. The big, chilling realization. That old story about Nankunchen, the one from 700 years ago, it wasn't just a myth. It was a prophecy. It was like a piece of dormant code, just sitting there in the spiritual fabric of reality, waiting, and it just got executed. This isn't a random event. This is the start of the Second God War.
And that is where the first chapter leaves us, just hanging, right on the edge of this massive cliff with this incredible question. An ancient war, a digital battlefield. What on earth happens when gods get rebooted? To find out, you're going to have to check out The Second God War.